why does that matter? Let's say it was so you could feel better. Well, why does that matter? This is peeling the onion, take the next layer off. I want to lose 10 pounds. Why? So I can look better. Okay, well, why? So that I can wear those, whatever, the workout pants. I want to be an 8 instead of a 10. Okay, but why does that matter to you? Because I want to exercise more, because I want to be fit. Usually it'll come down to something that's really personal that you might not have even thought of before, because you don't feel like playing with your kids. You just don't feel like going for a walk when it's beautiful and sunny outside. You sit on the couch instead, and it messes with your mind. So try to peel through that onion and make your goals emotional so you have a reason to do it. Have you ever wanted anything really badly in your life? Anybody think about it? Ever, like really badly, where you woke up and you're like, I am getting this done. Like even if you tried to forget about it, it was like poking you in the face the next morning. That's what you want this to be like. Man, why do I even care? Because that donut moment is going to happen. And you're going to need something to remember when the donut moment happens. Make it emotional. Now here's some things that I do. Quick tips. I think, are we going to put this online afterwards too? Okay, because I didn't do printouts, but it's going to be available on the Chamber website. Tips to make it happen. I think I have this in the presentation 3 times because it's that important. 3x5 card, write it down. Most people who have goals, set it in, put it in their pocket, put it somewhere. Dry erase marker, one of my favorite secret tips ever. I've got a couple of friends who take a dry erase marker and write their goals on their bathroom mirror, because you can just, whoop, new goal whenever you want. But the point is it's in your face the next day. Dry erase marker, put it in your bathroom. People will be like, why do you have a dry erase marker in your bathroom? Then you can share the secret with them. Make an appointment with a personal trainer, a fitness coach, dietitian, whoever you want. When you're paying for something and you make an appointment, you have to be there. You're probably going to do it. So make an appointment if you have to. Tell a friend. Works good. Depends on how much your friend in the donuts. You might be the accountability for that person. Score it. When you track things, when you measure things, they get done. That's a businessy motto and technique as well. If you can score it, you'll get some things done. And that may mean you mark down every pound you ate or every calorie. Whatever works for you. I drank 4 glasses of water, 6 glasses of water. I feel good. Vision boards rock. I don't know in town if we have any place. I'd like to have a place that we used to in the city I used to live in Iowa, where people could donate their old magazines, and you could go there and buy them for like a nickel or a dime. Actually, it was just a donation box. You could take the magazines and we cut them and make little postery boards. Vision boards are awesome because you want to lose weight, or if you just want to be more fit, maybe you want to go skydiving. Maybe you want to take a vacation somewhere. Stick it on the board and put it in front of your eyeballs. It's one more way for your body to go, oh yeah, I think I want to do this. I want to put up some really heavy weight at the audio center. That's right. Vision board and then baby steps. Love yourself. It's all good. Trust me, you'll probably eat the donut before your life is over. And that's okay. It's really okay. But have some fun with it because it doesn't have to be so serious. It really doesn't. You'll actually do better if you don't. Because what happens when you're stressed? Maybe you want to eat the donut a little bit more when you're stressed. So don't stress yourself out because life can do that for you. Okay. Do you have any questions right now? Diet questions? My heart is not set on having to go through all of the slides. If there are questions you have right now, we can take some time to answer. We'll go through these. Okay. All right. So as far as setting a goal, I'm going to look at these and see which apply to the setting the goal. And also, I have no time in my
20 after.
What time?
20 after.
What time do I need to be done by? Like 10 till?
5 to 10 to.
Okay. All right. And I'll do my best then. You can always give me like maybe a quarter till thumbs up or thumbs down by the audience. Okay. So as far as goal setting goes, when we look at these, all right, maintaining weight loss over time. We'll talk about that. One of the biggest problems that people face with maintaining weight loss over time is that they tend to yo-yo back and forth. You feel pretty good, and then you're like, good, I feel good, so I'm going to eat a little bit, and maybe I can slack off just a little bit, loosen up the reins a little bit. Part of that comes from maybe setting the reins too tight in the first place. You want to see immediate results, so you go to extreme dieting measures potentially. You lose a lot of weight, you feel really good, but maybe you bought into a fad diet at some point of some type, and you've only been eating, what's the grapefruit diet, cabbage diet? I can't think of anything I would just want to eat one thing of. Not even the chocolate covered donut. Like I went the egg diet. Oh, that can't be good, right? Right, there are all these bad diets out there. And so when you're maintaining weight loss, I think the biggest thing to realize is that there are seasons to the year. We have holidays here, we have summers, we have winters, and so there may just be times of the year that we actually carry more weight. But remembering very, very basic, simple principles. And the basic principles go back to that premise that I told you, which is natural food is better, natural exercise, as much as you can have variety in that. And then also realize that your body is designed to be healthy. So it is working for you, but it doesn't always feel like that. So maintaining diet, remember your why. When we talk back to your what's on your 3x5 card, what's on your bathroom mirror, and just get back on the wagon. Don't beat yourself up with it. That's probably one of the biggest. And I know it sounds so simple. It's easier said than done. I get that. But a lot of times, do you ever feel like when you fall off of a diet bandwagon or off of a fitness bandwagon, that you feel like you fell down the whole flight of steps again, not just tripped up a little bit? And I know some people, once they go over that hurdle, they go all the way over that hurdle, and then you have that yo-yo effect. You can go back to getting an accountability buddy in that sense that somebody is there for you, somebody works out with you, somebody does fitness stuff with you. Also, there are some amazing programs online that are totally free. That's the beauty of phone apps these days. There are some amazing phone apps. My favorite website is MyFitnessPal. You guys know about that one? There are a lot of sites, but MyFitnessPal is probably my favorite, and I believe it's in here somewhere, because it's really easy, but it's pretty robust, and they have the food log, and it's free, right? And that is even better. And you can do it on your phone, and then of course it saves it on their website, so you can log in anywhere on any computer also, and just type in your food. It tells you everything. It gives you graphs, charts for the data, like if there are any people who kind of, I always say like I kind of geek out on the science part of it, because I had all those years in science, so if I say things and you're like, what is that woman talking about? I just get excited about science and things that make me excited. So maintaining weight loss, MyFitnessPal is great. I use Weight Watchers app for a while. It gives you the points. Keeps it so simple. So you can look at it and say, oh man, this cheeseburger is going to be 12 points. I only get 26 in a day. I'm going to have to eat this cheeseburger 3 times. Like over the course of the day, cut it into pieces so you can make a decision at that point, right? Weight loss over time. Go back to the basics. Back to the basics. And do something that's reasonable, not a bad diet. What can you expect with age? I think as far as goal setting, this can apply there as well. Every year in Outside Magazine, they put a list of the people who did the Ironman, that's right, like the swimming and the running and the biking. They put the oldest person in, they put the newbies in, they feature somebody. The oldest woman this last year, and I'm going to be close if I don't get exactly right, I think she was 76 or 82 years old, something like that. And looks, you can tell that she's not 40 in her face, but her body is like ripped. I mean, it's just, she's functional. And she's not like the big burly women, but she's healthy. They showed a picture of standing in a swimsuit, you know, with the goggles, and it was inspiring. I only can hope that when I'm 80-something that I could even consider doing something like that. You know, choose to or not, that's a different story, right? But if I could consider, I mean, it was amazing. And then there were people who just started that it hadn't worked out or had just started this program and trained and done the Ironman. So whatever you want to do, and I would be cliche and say dream big, but it's honestly doable. You set the big goal that's emotional enough for you to work for it, and then take the baby step, and it's worth it. So weight loss through age and what you can expect through age. It does get harder to lose weight, generally speaking, because your metabolism wants to slow down, some hormonal changes in your body. So body fat wants to be stored a little bit more. But there are plenty of people who are in their 50s, 60s, 70s who are very active and very fit. Does anybody have anybody in their family that's like that? You have like parents or aunts or uncles or anybody that's, you're surprised at how, you know? I won't tell them. I don't either, I'll be honest with you, but I hope that I am one of those people for my kids. So age-wise, you can expect that it's a little bit harder to burn calories, but there's a trend in fitness called the high-intensity functional fitness, which CrossFit is one of those models. And basically what it means is you might only be physically moving for 5 to 15 minutes as far as intense workout. You just bust it out, done. And what that does is it really boosts up your metabolism pretty quickly. So you burn calories at a higher rate, usually for the next 24 to 30 some odd hours. I've been in CrossFit for not quite a year, and I would say on average, the average workout I do is about 7 minutes long a day. And we warm up and cool down, so I'm there about an hour. But the actual work part is about 7-ish, maybe 10 minutes is a long workout. I like that. I'm a fan of that. Who's been on a treadmill for more than a half an hour? And they're like, who wants to do that every day? Like you wake up, and there are some people that love it. Nothing against the treadmill. The treadmill's better than the couch, but if I can get my workout done in 7 minutes, I'm good with that. And if I can still feel good and see results. So what you can expect from age, it depends on what you put into it. If your body can get worse, your body can get better. Did you hear that? It's true. If you can get worse, you can get better. I don't care if you're 100 years old. If you can go downhill, there's a hill there, so you can pick. You can pick. And it doesn't mean that you're within the limits of matter. If you have a chronic illness or you have a joint condition, it doesn't mean that's not real. I'm not discounting that at all. I'm just saying that when you run into tough times, almost always there's something you can do to just make it a little bit better. So with age is also accumulation of what you've done through your lifetime. So that compound effect, everything matters. And also take it easy on yourself. Setting goals, I'm going to do this, motivate others / self-motivation together, okay? Has anyone, let me see, would you be willing to tell me anything about your donut story in the sense of what happens when you're deciding if you're going to make a good decision or a bad decision? Thank you.
I never have that thought cross my mind. I just
I didn't know their thoughts. Just like, oh, donut, good. Someone put this donut here for me. I love it. That's awesome. Yes, self-motivating. In your case, then you might want to get like, some kind of a wristband or put a picture of like a donut with a red line through it in your car on your dashboard. Go ahead.
There's an exercise that I'm not even sure where it came from, but it's envisioning yourself on your 75th birthday in every area of life and envisioning what that looks like. And whenever I have any choice, I always think, does this support that vision or does it detract from it? So if I look at the donut, I think that doesn't fit with what I want to be doing when I'm 75. And then you just kind of walk by.
Right, walk faster.
It works
right?
for me.
That's awesome. That's good. Thank you for that, Deb. Yes, absolutely. So it can become a simple decision if first the thought has to cross your mind that it is a decision. I guess you're totally right. So we're going to go with that. This is going to be your first baby step. Realize that you have a decisive moment right there, which is true. I mean, it may be true for a lot of people, honestly. Have you ever eaten something and later on it crossed your mind? I've done that before. I'm like, oh, this is going to be really good. And then later on I'm like, wait a minute, what was I thinking? Like, I know I shouldn't have eaten half of that pound of bacon. It just tasted so good. I just kept eating it. Bacon is a tough one because people always leave it in those big plates on their kitchen counter. And you ever do that? I'm just going to have 2 pieces. And then you walk by all day long and picking it. That's a problem too. So as you go through self-motivation goes back to your why and thinking like of the big picture. Is this going to get me closer or further away? Now, one thing I will tell you, and give me 1 second, I do want to hear that, what you have to say. One thing I will tell you is that we don't always realize the effect that it will have on us. And there was something else I was going to tell you though. Go ahead and tell me what you're going to say because I can't tell me.
I was just going to say, we just started this wellness program at my work, and I found, and I'm going to kind of point fingers at myself because I'm not a very fit person. It's just the program, I think, that sometimes people laugh about it, and sometimes it's, like I was really frustrated the last time I spent like an hour on this little webinar at work, and they were like making jokes about it, and it's like, I just hung up.
Jokes
like,
about
like the donuts and stuff like that. It's like, well, what can we do to get past it?
Sure.
How is this helping us? How is this motivating us by us just chuckling about it?
Sure.
Like, not that you can't laugh ever, but to me, like that doesn't motivate me.
Yeah.
Like I want them to tell me this is what we do. These are the type of results that we need to hear, and and then you talk about when you think about that donut or whatever. It's like you sit on the couch and you're like, okay, well, I'm hungry.
Right.
So I'm going to get up and I'm going to go eat something. And you can choose between the grapes or the pineapple or whatever you have in your fridge, or the bowl of chips or whatever you're going to pick. But I don't know. Maybe it's the people that surround me, but it's like the motivating others. Like other people said, how do you get people to be more on the same page as you. Is
Right.
that just like the culture that we're in? That
And
people
maybe
just-
if it's a work culture, I will tell you that because, you know, I'm doing this presentation, I guess, and in general, I'm overall a pretty lighthearted person, but at the same time, I did coach people like one-on-one and in small groups for a long time, people who had a lot of weight to lose. One woman, she ended up at about over 100 pounds she lost, but so there are moments where coming from a fitness background, even though, yes, I lost 30, 35 pounds, that's a whole lot different than wanting to lose 100 pounds or 150 pounds. Something where it's a serious issue. It's a serious thing that that individual person is dealing with. But at the same time, talking about weight and weight loss sometimes makes people uncomfortable. Because because sometimes it's like you don't want to like look at somebody and say, oh, you know, yeah, I know that you're really trying to lose weight, because it's almost like discredit to them. You know, it feels awkward to say that. As a trainer, you get into that, they've engaged you in that situation to discuss it with them. But be like a family member, you know. I mean, I suppose it depends on your family. You might be like, hey, you're really, you know, gaining some weight. Let's talk about it. But most people aren't like that to each other, you know, unless it's like two guys talking to each other, maybe. Right? No. So I understand that, and at every business though, there's going to be a culture also. And at Wellcoa, there's a website that has a ton of information, and there'll be a slide up. And the Wellness Council of Wisconsin, they actually have tip number 1, or there's 7 basic success principles, and number 1 is CEO or the business leader's support, so that they're really involved and committed to a wellness program. Also, usually though, there are teams and coordinators if you have it at work. And do you have like teams or people who are?
Yeah, and that's kind of what we have now, and like we spend all this money on these people to come in and check our levels and all this other stuff, but
Right.
it's just kind of like, okay, well, here's some pretzels, you know, eat that instead of eating the donuts that you guys buy for your clients,
Sure.
you know, or drink more water, you know, like that type of things. But then in the next breath, it's like, okay, well, for Christmas, who's bringing the cookies, who's bringing
Right.
the cake? It's like,
Yeah.
you can't have that in the same conversation.
Right, and I don't know if you have opportunity to be on part of one of those councils or on one of the teams might work as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so you know, that's a really good point though, in the sense of what do you do when you are sitting on the couch and you're just, you're like, I'm hungry, what do I eat? Or you're sitting at your desk at work and you're finding out, what do I eat, what do I do? Well, pre-planning obviously helps. Cleaning out your cupboards helps. They say that, you know, have you ever gone to your cupboard though to clean it out and like, I don't really know what to throw out? I mean, I guess some things are blatantly obvious, maybe, but maybe not. And there are hidden sugars in a lot of things as well. So reading a label is very good also. But if you're going for a snack, in the wintertime I don't keep fruit in my car because it freezes. But I have almonds out there, a bag of raw, unroasted, plain almonds. They're actually fairly tasty. Sometimes I'll have cheese. I don't do a lot of cheese, but I'll cheese snacks as well. Fruit, cheese are the basics, like fruit and nuts. Sometimes meat. I don't do beef jerky a lot unless I get really natural beef jerky. Because if you read the label again, if you can't, when you go back to that premise of natural, if you read the label on things and you have no clue what it is, probably isn't natural, although natural things do have other names also, but chances are. And anything that ends in ose, you guys know that. It's some kind of a sugar, glucose, fructose, lactose. There's hundreds and hundreds of names for sugars. Some are more natural sugars, some are artificial sugars. And if you want to Google it, you can. But if you see ose on anything in a label, it's some type of a sugar. They will say there's other tips. There's so much information out there. I don't want to overwhelm you. They say shop the perimeter of the stores. Because on the perimeter, what do you find? There's fruits and vegetables, there's meats, sometimes there's dairy, and then usually there's, I don't know, toilet paper and things like that. You know what I mean? Like you can't hardly get in trouble. Some theories, some will say eat things that don't have labels on them, like they're not boxed or packaging. If you even go like one step in that direction, the beauty of it is every little step counts. So it's not like you have to go from, I usually have a cheeseburger for lunch every day, to I'm going to have just a plate of Brussels sprouts. You know, I mean, like realistically, it's probably not doable, but small changes are really what's matter. People usually fail throughout time and age when they try to make too dramatic changes, and I think it is a diet. So self-motivation, understand your why, get one thing. That's all you need is one thing. Now, when you go into motivating others, though, we were talking about this before we started. Does anybody have somebody in their life that they think could be healthier? Have you ever seen anybody around you that could be healthier? Maybe. If that person's not at all interested, all you do is lead by example, in my opinion. You know, who here has kids? Teenagers and even little kids, right? So how many times you can tell your kid whatever you'd like to tell your child over and over and over again. If your child isn't either intimidated by you or somehow impressed with your worldly knowledge, or they haven't decided that they would really like their room to be clean also, chances are that you're swimming an uphill battle. Now, motivating others, leading by example is really good. But we were talking about the, what's that word? I'll say the gentle reminding of a spouse or a coworker. And I've done it, like, you know, maybe that would be a better choice for you, or you really think you should have the supersized fries today? How has that worked out for anybody, right? I mean, it stinks. You wish you could just like wave this magic wand and they would get it, because they could feel so much better. They could feel more confident, they could feel more energized, they could be healthier, avoid disease. Cleaning out the cupboards is a great way to do it. They still might bring the stuff back in. But if you can either clean out the cupboards, even just a little bit, replace it with some healthier alternatives, or have things on hand. My family, if we have strawberries, I don't know if any of you are like this, if we have strawberries but they're still in the plastic container, they just sit there. If I take them out and wash them and cut the stems off and put them in a bowl that's open, they eat them like in a day. And I almost get upset, like, who ate all these strawberries? Like, I wanted to have some, and they've been sitting here for a week. Same thing with grapes, same thing with apples, cauliflower, broccoli, celery sticks. Make sure if you take celery sticks, put them in the glass with some water in it, because they'll suck up the water. It stays firm then, so it's not all floppy and celery. You cut them into sticks. You guys know that? Put it in a glass with water. So if you have that stuff ready, that will help. Anything you can do to put good stuff in front of them, and to be a good role model. Say, no, even if you're not going to do it, I'm going to do it. And if you have healthy things for you, chances are a little bit by and by they'll pick up at least some good habits, which is good. I used to tell people when I graduated from chiropractic college, they taught us, you know, people shouldn't smoke and they shouldn't drink sugary sodas, and I got into practice and I'm like, no, you really shouldn't smoke. This was back in the 1990s when that was still cool to like tell patients that, just so you know, like, well, you really shouldn't smoke. I know. And rarely was anyone surprised at that. Really? I'd never heard that before. So, and people drink sodas. I'd have people who drink 6-pack, 12-pack all day long. That was their energy through the course of the day. So I used to say, well, you know, you should really cut back on your soda. Well, left them with this void. Like, what am I going to drink then? Like, that's what I drink. I hate water, they would say. I hear that a lot. Does anyone here hate water? Hate's a strong word, but... So what I would say to them is replace it with a glass, or add a glass of water. Don't replace it. I don't even care. Just forget about the soda. Just drink an extra glass of water every day. All right, fine. And we talk about you can put fruit in it. Cucumbers are actually awesome in water. Have you ever read? It might sound weird. Cucumbers are awesome in water. It's like fancy, high-class water. Trust me, it's really good. Cucumbers, lemons, oranges, limes. I put cucumber and lime in my water a lot. I don't mind plain water either, but I drink water with no ice because ice gets in my way. That's my thing. But you can put stuff in your water. I would not recommend you put those little packets of powdery stuff in there. I don't love them because they have artificial sweeteners in them. I just want to know what's going into my body so I can have some idea what my, what my expectations can be for health and functionality. So watch out for sugars, drink water, put snacks out. Good snacks, healthy snacks, fruits and vegetables. Even for yourself. If you have a bowl of stuff in your fridge that's healthy and you're hungry at night, you can go and grab it as opposed to ordering, or something like that, or a bag of chips. Chips are salty. Motivating others, lead by example, get snacks out. Self-motivation. Any big challenges with self-motivation? You mean just like you get busy and forget, probably, or you get busy and you're like, I don't want to? Yeah. For some people, I will tell you that there are people that work out in the morning that do really, really well working out in the morning. There are other people that just, they can't do it, right? And it might be a biological clock thing, but you may be surprised. I like to work out in the morning. The main reason is that I generally do better through the course of the day. I will eat better because my brain's like, you just worked out. You need to go. Plus, working out tends to kind of level out your blood sugar level so you don't have that spike like that all day long. You're like, yay, yay. Tired. I will tell you that in the last month I did a 30-day challenge. It's paleo diet. Have you heard of paleo? It's like the caveman diet kind of trendy right now. This is what it is. Caveman diet is I eat meat, vegetables, and fruit. I have some people who are like, well, what else is there? What else would you eat? And then I've had other people like, how do you eat meat, fruits, and vegetables? I don't get it. And still exist and function and go out. So paleo diet is very basic, very simple, but it's real food and I know what it is, so I know what I'm consuming. So that's super dumbing down and simpling. I don't mean dumb as a disrespect, I mean simpling it down as much as you possibly can, because, watch this. There are a lot of fad diets. These are two of the top diets, except for the paleo diet for 2013. The Miracle Berry diet. I have to admit that I started to read the review for this and I stopped. Something about a pill and a fruit that you can eat all the sugar you want. My point is that you think you're going to do this for the rest of your life. Lose a pound a week by eating sweets. Okay, I'm going to take that away for a minute. Human nature-wise, even if it's possible, if someone does come out with a magic pill that makes you lose body fat, a long time ago they had x-ray machines that shot up through your feet at shoe stores. Any of you ever heard of those? A long time ago you could go to a shoe store, little kids would do it. It was like a kid thing, so the parents could buy the shoes and the kids could be entertained. You put in something, I don't even know if it was a nickel, that'd probably be expensive then. And you stand on this platform and it shot x-rays up at your body, but there was a screen, so it was like video fluoroscopy, this thing where you can see your bones moving. It was a moving x-ray. So the kids would be like, yay, wiggling their toes around. Well, it took them a while, almost a decade, to realize that shooting radiation up at children wasn't a good idea. So what I'm saying to you, and that's a true story, you can Google that as well. The point is that if you come up with a medication, if they come up with a pill that helps you to lose weight and eat sweets, it goes against, I think, the common sense of the fact is that what you put in is what you get out in the long run. This is one of my favorite / least favorite diets. It's really interesting. The idea is that you only eat for 8 hours a day, and you eat as much as you want, whatever you want, and you don't eat again for 16 hours. And they say people have lost, and maybe they have lost weight, but eat whatever you want. So for 8 hours, I could eat pizza constantly from noon until 8, and then I don't eat from 8 until noon again the next day. That's the 8-hour diet. And I almost think that they think that people will just buy it, so they decide to write a book about it. But they say there is some research behind it. I do not know. Wheat eating is super simple. Meats, vegetables, nuts, seeds, some fruit, little starch, starch being like oats and grains and rice and things like that, and then no sugar. No meaning relative to what no means for you. You don't have to be perfect, but you can eat all day long if you eat like this. The beauty of it is, realistically, I eat about every hour and a half, maybe shorter than that. I eat all day long, and I love it. I like eating. So, and drink water as much as you can drink. Water will make you feel full, but don't do it. If you're hungry, eat something, okay? Eat something. But let it be meat, vegetables, mostly nuts and seeds, and some fruits, little starch, little sugar. If you did just this, your not just your weight would be transformed, but your mind would be transformed. I used to have restless leg. I was sick for about 6 years. I've had every scan on the planet, top, bottom, in, out, lupus, arthritis, Lyme disease, every blood panel on the planet. I had about 7 years ago. I was sick for 6 years. Like I'd walk up half a flight of steps and sit down. I was so exhausted and chronic fatigue. One medical doctor finally in Mequon I went to said try a gluten-free diet. I cleaned up my diet and started exercising, and everything went away. The restless leg stuff, I did all the fatigue, the aches, the pains, the fevers. It was amazing. I haven't been sick in about 6 years, but I'll tell you about that later if you want to know. Paleo diet, eat fruit, vegetables, yogurt. Check out the sugar. In a hurry, how about a yogurt? There's 27 grams of sugar in that yogurt. See on the right side, there's 20 grams of sugar. You see it under the carbs. 24 versus 20. Well, on the right is actually the label for the Snickers, the big one, ice cream bar. That's the difference. Is that crazy? So you've got 170 calories in that yogurt. You've got 240 in the bar. That has more fat in it, so it has more calories. But the point is that there's more sugar in that yogurt than there is in that bar. Isn't that crazy? So here's a Chobani. This is plain yogurt. Plain yogurt doesn't taste probably as good as yogurt that has strawberries and banana stuff in it. But I take Chobani. This one I think has 9 grams. I thought I had 7. But the point is that I will take this and I'll take some like blackberries out of my fridge and just mash them up and stick them in there. It tastes awesome. Sometimes I'll take like half a teaspoon of honey and stick it in there with the blackberries. Now I know what it was. It was honey. It was blackberries. honey that I got, within 5 miles of here, and some yogurt, which is really, when you read the label, yogurt should say some bacteria cultures milk. When you read a lot of yogurts, they'll have evaporated cane sugar and corn syrup and sugar itself. There'll usually be about 3 sugars added to a yogurt, 3 different types. So just check them out. You don't have to be compulsive. It's just once you know something, you can't undo it. You can't undo it. Diet soda versus regular. Look up the ingredients if you're interested in knowing it. If I was going to pick soda for you and you were going to drink it, I would pick regular over diet, just because of the research. Better choice, water with cucumbers or lemon or anything you like, apples, whatever you want, put it in there. I wouldn't go with like onions or Brussels sprouts, but never know. If you like it, do it. This is actually my hand holding up some candy at the movie store the other night. Corn, sugar, corn syrup, water, hydrogenated vegetable oil, food gelatin, citric acid, artificial flavors, a bunch of other acids, and then red number 40, yellow number 5, and then corn. I don't even know what that is. I couldn't figure out what to write on that slide. Eating tips, so there you go. MyFitnessPal. If you get hungry at night and you don't want to snack, because a lot of people are nighttime eaters, brush your teeth. Just awesome. It's so easy to do. What tastes good right after you brush your teeth? Like nothing. Nothing. Cut up fruit and veggies right away, clean them, put them in your fridge. I love leftovers. Why? Because I eat all day long. So make big portions. If I start to run low on leftovers, I start, like my blood pressure goes up at my house. Like there's nothing in the fridge. I'm hungry now. I need some leftovers. And drink as much water as you can easily get in your system. Super simple. Tips to make it happen, you got that. Make an appointment, tell a friend, or baby steps. This is probably too long. What time is it right now?
It is 12:51.
All right then. All right, this stuff, if you want to do a talk maybe in the future on workplace wellness, like specific to workplace wellness, I will tell you that WellCoa is a great place to go. And there's a Wellness Council of Wisconsin. They have all sorts of free resources. On our Facebook page, I have an Apple Clinic Facebook page, and I put some links, some additional links that have all sorts of free downloads even, on really basic stuff. Our Facebook page, it is facebook.com, and then the slash is Apple Clinics with an S. We used to have multiple locations. So it's Apple Clinics, and it's on the bottom of these slides also. But they have great free resources as well. There's a lot of good reasons aside from